that overgarment that we wear on any outfit during winter season, during the rainy season. It's called a trench coat or a jacket and overgarment. So the steps we will need are these ones. You draft your basic block. Since our trench coat is always longer, so you draft your basic block to your desired length, which I have done on the board. Then we are going to do some little alterations on your drafted pattern. So the alterations are here as follows. So the first thing you need to do is reduce your shoulder dart by 2 cm. You reduce your shoulder dart by 2 cm. So let me just show you how to reduce your shoulder dart. If you want to reduce your shoulder dart, don't touch this your first dart leg. You should do your reduction from your second dart leg. So you just measure inward 2 cm and reconstruct the second dart leg to touch this point. So you can now clean the previous dart leg, and you close your dart again to give you the new shoulder line. So the main reason why you are reducing your shoulder dart is because you know it's a jacket. Now you are not doing a dress whereby you need to emphasize more on the bust area. It's a jacket. Normally we are meant to use a dartless bodice, but I don't know whether you know your dartless bodice. So that's why I'm using our regular shaped bodice. So after that, the next thing to do is to increase your back SP by 1 cm. And you know, on your bodice pattern, your back shoulder is always longer. So that is why I'm adding 1 cm to it. So you extend your SP, just the back alone, by 1 cm. SP by 1 cm, this is 1 cm right here. So this is going to be my new SP. So the next thing says increase your depth of armhole by 2 cm. Increase your depth of armhole by 2 cm. This is my depth of armhole here. So I'm coming down 2 cm. So this is going to be my new UP under arm point. So you do the same thing for the front. My new UP under arm point. So the next step says increase your back width by 1.5 cm. So this is my back width. I'm going to increase it by 1.5. So this is going to be my new back width. Now I'm going to do the same thing for front. I'm increasing by 1.5 cm. So this is going to be my new CHP. So the next thing to do is to add 2 cm ease to my back UP. 2 cm ease to my back UP. The reason why I'm adding it to my back alone is because my front already has enough ease, enough allowance. So I'm extending my back UP by 2 cm. Then I add 2 cm as well to my hip area. And I extend it down. Like that. So take note, because my trench coat is not something that is fitted, I don't need all this inner shaping. I'm working with the outer shaping, and as you can see, I've added 2 cm ease to my back. My front has enough ease already. So I'm cleaning this inner shaping off. I'm working with the outer one. So back to my steps. The next one says reshape the armhole curve. So I'm going to connect my new SP to my new back width to my new UP here. I'm connecting here to here and blending it to my new UP as well. Like that. So the main purpose of increasing our depth of armhole and doing all this alteration is for us to have a bigger armhole. Okay, so going back to my steps, the next one says lower your center back neck by 0.5 cm. So I'm coming to this, my point 0, I'm reducing it by 0.5 cm. Then I'm going to widen my neck point, both for front and the back. I'm going to widen it by 0.5 cm as well. So I come to my neck point here and measure 0.5 cm and do the same thing for the front. So this is going to be my new neck point. Then I'm going to drop my center front neck by 1 cm. So after I've done this, then I'm going to reconstruct the curve, the neck curve. Like that. Okay. constructed my new neckline. The next thing to do now is to construct my rivet or lapel. So constructing my lapel, I'm going to add my overlap or button stand to my center front. So I'm adding 4 cm to my CF. Adding 4 cm. So after I've added the 4 cm, then the next thing to do is to construct my my roll line. So how do I get my roll line? I need to get my break point first. My break point is that point whereby your jacket overlaps, where that button starts from. So to get your button point, you can, your choice, you can choose anywhere from your center front. But I would rather prefer it to be on the waistline or a little bit above the waistline. So let me just go 3 cm above waistline. Like that. Then I extend my neck point. I extend it by 2.5 cm. Extend it out by 2.5 cm. So that 2.5 cm is for the collar stand. Just square out a line touching those 2 points. Then the next thing to do is to extend. This is my point. This is my point 3, and this is point 4. Yeah. So the next thing to do is to get my point 5. So I'm going to extend from point 3 inward 2 cm. So this is my point 3 here. I'm extending inward 2 cm. And after marking that, I label it 0.5. Then I connect my 0.5 to my neck point, like that. So I don't need my former neckline anymore. So you can just clean it off not to confuse you. Okay, so to get my point 6, I'm going to extend outward from 4 your rivet width. So you can work with whatever width you want, but I'm going to work with 7 cm here. So from my point 4, I'm coming inward 7 cm, and I label that 0.6. So one thing about rivet is it has different shape. Yeah, that's what. It has different shape. Some rivet goes up. It depends on the shape you want, like that. So if you want your ribbon collar to go up, you can go from your center front. This from your point 4. You can go up, square it up with the amount of collar ribbon width that you are working with. So my next step says to connect with a slight curve. Connect point 6 to point 2 with a slight curve. So this is my point 2 here, my break point here. My break point here is my point 2. So I'm connecting here to my point 2 here with a slight curve. So to get my point 7, I'm going to square up from point 0. My point 0 is my neck point here. So I'm going to square up my back neck measurement plus 0.25 cm is. So I'm going to measure what I have here. I have 7 cm. So I'm going to square up from my point 0 here, from my neck point here. 7 cm plus 0.25 is, that's going to be 7.25. So I labeled this point my point 7. So to get my point 8, I'm going to square backward 2 cm. I'm going to square backward from point 7 2 cm. That's going to be my point 8. And I connect point 8 with my curve to point 0. So this is how you are going to place your curve. And make sure you measure it afterwards. And make sure you measure this line, and at the same time you still have your back neck measurement. So after I've gotten my curve, the next thing says to get my point 9, I'm going to square out my collar depth from point 7. So my collar depth, I'm using 7 cm. So from point 7, I'm going to measure, this is my bed. Seven cm. I label this point 9. Okay? So the next step says mark 2 cm and draw a line for the notch collar and label 10. So from point 4, I'm going to mark 2 cm. 2 cm on this line and construct my notch line. So constructing my notch line, constructing my notch line, I made sure my line is aligning with my lapel, that's my reverb. So after I've constructed my notch line, then I connect it back to my point 9 with a slight curve. So I'm connecting this to this. Okay, so right there I have my notch collar. So now if you want to cut out your collar, you are cutting this, which I've done in the sewing process. This part is on fold. So you are cutting like this. You are cutting your collar off, and make sure when you are cutting your collar on fabric, it should be on bias. So for the main fabric, then I need to close this dart. What do? I cannot transfer it to my underarm. So all I need to do is panel my front bodies. So just extend this dart line to your hem. And the label CF1 and CF2. So when you are cutting your panel, you cut that way. And when you are placing your CF1 on fabric, make sure you iron hairstay on it, and make sure you use it to cut the facing as well. So how to cut the facing is on the sewing process. Yeah, for CF1, you are cutting like this. Cut the neck. And as for the CF2, you continue from the shoulder, the armhole, and the side. So same thing for the back. You are not holding that for back. So the dart serves as ease for the clothes. So your center back is on fold. So you cut here. And that is it for the jacket pattern. Then you draft your sleeve pattern. With the new armhole circumference. So that's that for it. Any question? Okay. When you are asking your question, please kindly introduce yourself.
Let's not leave you this class.
No, somebody was talking. Are you kidding me?
Yes, no. Sure.